So basically what we're going to do is for this activity here, I want to work with polynomials, okay? And I want to kind of, bless you, want to go kind of to where we said that this would factor them if we graphed it, right? Dot, dot, dot. So if we graph these, then say we graph something like this. It's going to look like, here's a -1, here's a 2, here's a -3. So it's going to look something like this. All right, and we're going to get somewhat like an N shape. Okay, so if we have 3 factors, we're going to get something that looks like an N shape. All right, if we have a quadratic, and we graph that, then we're going to get something like a U shape. All right, and last, if we have something like this, so 2, 1, 1, 2, we're going to get something that looks like a W shape. Okay, and that's as high as we're ever going to go. So basically what I wanted to do is show you that these polynomials have these kind of shapes. And what's pretty cool about this is that we can make lots of different designs from these polynomials. And each and one of these polynomials can be flipped. All right, so if we put a negative out in front of these, then that's going to flip them. All right, so what we're going to do here with Desmos is we're going to play with these polynomials. And one of our activity is going to be to make some sort of a design out of these polynomials. So I have a little thing I wrote up that we're going to experiment through when we go to the lab, and I want to give you a chance to kind of play with them and match them by using this whole idea of these things here. So see, this is -1, 2, -3. I'm going to the opposite. -1, 2, 1, -2, and then negative and positive 2. So whatever the x-intercepts are is where the polynomial is going to cross, and that's how you know how to make it. Some of you are writing stuff down. I don't want to jump here, so I'll wait just a second. So if we want to make a, say we want to make a W, then I would just say, all right, I know that's going to be y equals, and I can put down any place I want the W. So let's say I want a +5, parentheses, +3, and to make it symmetric, I'll put a -3 and a -5. Now you might say, well, that doesn't look like a W, and you're right, it doesn't. But if I go out in front of the y equals there, and I put a really small number like a 0.1, now I can see where, oh, I can see that I have a W there, kind of. So maybe if we just continue to make this a smaller number, so maybe I try a 0.01. Oh, look at that W. All right. So there's a couple of things going on here. One, we have the 5 and the 3 and the 3 and the 5. Right? That's coming from our x-intercept, our factors. And this 0.01 kind of makes it so it's not so stretched. All right? So we can condense it down. And the nice thing about Desmos is that we can actually put in a variable in there, like I like to put an A, for example, and then I can slide it around and get what I'm looking for. So let's say I have a cubic here. I tap on that slider, and you see me do this, and I can move this around, okay, and I can change it. So if I want an N, that's a nice looking N. If I want to flip it, I just make the A negative, and it flips it. Let me get rid of the red one so you don't see that so much. Alright? But I'm always kind of getting that N shape. It's just a matter of what you want it to look like. Alright, so that's kind of cool. We can do that. Let's see, what else did I want to show? Oh, you can also move them up and down. So if I go y equals, and I have a x, let's go with a +1, and parentheses x +4, and parentheses x -1. So I have another n, all right? I can add a number at the end here. I don't want to use, I want to use D this time. And by doing this, I can move it up and down. All right? That changes my x-intercepts. Originally, they were right there, right? But now if I put a D there, it moves them up, and I can move this thing up and down. So it's kind of, I can take these polynomial graphs and manipulate them a lot. I'm going to get rid of this, going to get rid of this, get rid of that. All right, back to this one. Okay, well, actually, let's create another one. Y equals parentheses. What happens if we have this, and then we put this one, but we put a square on there? Well, here you notice at that 2, the graph doesn't go through it, it touches it and bounces off. So whenever you have a 2, a square, that's what you're going to get. That's called a double root. Okay? So it's going to come down, and it's going to hit this x-axis, and it's going to bounce right off. All right? So that's the kind of thing we're going to play with, is just playing with these polynomials. It's kind of neat. So when we go into the lab, all right, what I'm going to do is turn you loose on this activity, but at times we're going to pause it and talk about how to do certain things. I don't want to throw it all on you right now because it's going to be a lot to do. Okay, so let's just do this. We'll go in and we'll set it up. So where we're heading is, let's see, I just had it. That's the other building, and I think it was 238. I believe it was, but let me just double check. And we're not coming back, so. Yep. So we're not coming back here. $248. 248 is where we're heading to. My guess is I'm going to have to call security and have them open it up.